It is now 3 o'clock. Hey guys, you know that this is an anime, right? So what does an anime need? A beach episode!
So, on the 10th Twilight, the journey shall end. And you shall reach the Golden Land. You really are diligent, Maria. You did a good job of taking notes on all of this.
I forgot a lot, so I write things down. Write things down like Mama said.
There was a notebook inside the handbag Maria was always carrying around, and Beatrice's epitaph was copied into it. Thanks to that, we were all able to challenge the puzzle of the epitaph while here on this beach. For Jessica and the others, this puzzle that they had already tried to solve several times, and had already gotten bored with. But it was a first for me, and I was so excited that I couldn't stop. It really tickled my male sense of romance.
Let's start with the first line. Behold the sweet fish river running through my beloved home of Ulm. Where was grandfather's old home again?
I heard that before the war, the Ushidamiya family had a mansion near Odawara. So, that said, you'd want to know about the sweet fish river that flows through Odawara, right?
Yeah, because that's the river starting... Yeah, because that river's the starting point. And then it's got you who seek the Golden Land, follow its path downstream in search of the key. What rivers are in Odawara? Gotta be one with sweet fish swimming in it.
Swimming. Or sweet fish and... Oh, yes, sorry. You're so cute. Sorry, you were distracted also, so...
Wasn't this time. For sweet fish in Odawara, it'd be the Hayakawa. It's famous for its mountain stream fishing.
I hate fish.
You're gonna eat the fucking fish and you're gonna lick it!
No!
Hehe, Maria. You'll understand when you get older. You'll be
Lick, sweet, salty, roasted sweet fish. Grilled fish. It's like a kid being picky about not eating broccoli. Yummy!
Even though we just ate, I'm getting hungry again.
Shall I bring you some biscuits?
Huh? Oh, sorry, that's not what I meant. Don't mind me.
Shannon-chan, who didn't have any afternoon chores for a while, was faithfully keeping us company. I would have thought that as a servant accompanying us would have forced her to take care of us and tire her out, but it seemed that it wasn't so in her case. To the contrary, it seems she was having fun joining in on the conversation with people of similar age. When I asked, she told me she was a live-in worker. So normally, the only person close in age to her was Jessica. I get it, but that must be pretty worrisome.
Alright, so I get that the sweet fish-filled river near Odawara is the Hayakawa. In that case, we have to go down it. Don't you find anything if you head down the Hayakawa?
If you follow it downstream, you'll arrive in the ocean.
Of course, you'd reach the mouth of the river. And then the third line of the epitaph was, as you travel down it, you will see a village. By the way, since long ago, the mouths of rivers have generally been key points for transportation, and large cities
Titties.
tend to be
Titties.
large cities tend to be built there. That'd be the next checkpoint. That's a pretty good theory. Just like you imagined, in ancient times, there was a very prosperous old city there. That's where Odawara Castle is.
I think I might have gone to Odawara Castle on a field trip once. It really was a wonderful castle. Yeah, I went to Odawara Castle too. Even though I live in a Western-style house, it sure is true that Japanese people tend to feel calmer with Japanese style. Bryan being distracted with on-screen titties.
I think castles are boring. Theme parks are better.
I see. Alright. If we find the gold, the Great Battle of Sama will generously reserve a whole theme park for a day and let you play all you want. Yo, Odawara Castle. Hitting gold of Odawara Castle. Oh, kinda has the right ring to it, don't you think?
Well, we figured out that much when we tried this 2 years ago. The village down the river where the sweet fish swim in Odawara? We figured it was probably somewhere near Odawara Castle. The problem is the next line. Alright, let's see where your strange reasoning can take you. Jessica grinned broadly.
Bless you. Bless you.
It was like she was saying that if the puzzle could be solved so easily, she would have found it long ago. Damn it. I'll definitely find it and keep it all for myself.
Fourth line. In that village, look for the shore the two speak of. I don't know what it means by the two, but anyway, the shore. What does it mean by the shore? Is there any place near with shore in its name?
I have heard that there's this place called the Sogashiki in Odawara. Huh? Wow, you sure know a lot. So, what does that mean? Shannon-chan, are you also after the gold and trying to solve the riddle? That makes us rivals! It's not like I'm interested in gold. It's just that George told me about it before. That's because we reached the same conclusion 2 years ago. We even went and laid out a map and looked it up. It was about 5 kilometers to the north of Odawara Castle. There certainly was a place called Sogashiki there. But after that, we get stuck. The 5th line doesn't say where the key is hidden in that place. Maria-chan, could you read it for us? There, the key to the Golden Land sleeps.
I read it!
Sogakishi is probably large, and there wasn't ever any house built there by the Urshiromiya family. With no hint where the key is hidden in that huge area, we pretty much have to throw in the towel. You're right. And without the key, we can't advance to the next line. George Aniki, what kind of place is Sogakishi? Wait, what? No. If you want to put it in the microwave, you can throw it in the microwave and have it. We just don't have any more buns, so it's up to you. I'm not sure. I've never been there, so I don't really know. But according to the map, it's in the mountains. I'm pretty sure it was at the base of Mount Asama. Something doesn't sit right. Aren't puzzles for the hiding place of the treasure meant to be a little more exact than this? I get the feeling we're barking up the wrong tree with Sogakishi.
I don't know about that. Sogakishi looks suspicious to me.
There might be some house there that we just don't know about, that grandfather lived when he was a kid. I mean, the first line did go about his beloved home of old. Shannon, grandfather has you pouring drinks for him a lot, right? Haven't you ever been able to listen to his stories from his past? The master almost never speaks of his past. However, I've heard him speak of the great Kanto earthquake that almost destroyed the Urshiromiya family, as though it had nothing to do with him. Though he may have been living far away from the Kanto area. The Urshiromiya family may have been living in Odawara, but the branch families probably weren't limited to that. Grandfather often called himself a branch of a branch family, to the least connected to the succession. After all. So, in other words, the beloved home of old might not even be Odawara at all. I never even asked for grandfather's old home. He probably wouldn't give it away if I did. If the so-called beloved home of old isn't referring to Urshiromiya's family roots, then the Odawara theory is wrong from the beginning. Of course, this doesn't remove all possibility that it was Sogakishi. For example, he could have lived in Odawara when he was very young, then moved far away later.
I don't get what you're talking about.
Maria had completely left out of the conversation, and she now sat puffing out her cheeks in boredom. Oh. Well, basically, if we can't decide where the start of our golden game of chutes and ladders, we can't even begin to play. But wait. In the first 5 lines, the thing we're searching for is a key, right? We can't enter a door even without a key, just by busting through it. Can't we just throw away the first 5 lines and start figuring out the rest? Oh! I hadn't thought of that. Oh, well, we're just killing time anyway. Let's hear the rest of your reasoning. But in the next part, it quickly becomes disturbing. Shannon frowned slightly. After looking back at Maria's notebook to recall what was written there, alright, I agree.
On the first Twilight, sacrifice the 6 chosen by the key. Sure does get horrible quickly.
On the second Twilight, it says to tear apart the 2 who are close. Does that mean to make them break off their romance?
Or literally tear them apart?
I don't know, but either way, it's pretty disgusting.
Even if we ignore the meaning of that second line, on the first Twilight it's 6 people. And on the 4th through 8th Twilight there's 5 people. So at least 11 people must become sacrifices.
Sacrifices to revive Beatrice!
See, sacrifices to bring back the witch. I guess you can take it that way. As a result, the witch revives on the 9th Twilight.
Burn the witch!
I'm not a witch, sir. This last part is glorious.
On the 9th Twilight, the witch revives, and none shall be left alive.
So everyone dies in the end anyway.
And then it's got this goal being reached at the end, 10th Twilight that follows. Not sure how anyone shall reach the Golden Land if everyone's dead.
It seems to allow for different interpretations as to whether or not the traveler who holds the key would be included in the none shall be left alive part. There's something pretty interesting written at the end. The lines about how, after reaching the goal, 4 treasures will be given by the witch. 1 shall be all the gold. The problem is the next one. It says she'll resurrect all the dead people's souls, right? Doesn't it seem like this refers to everyone that died in the earlier lines?
If you put it like that, the next one, the part about even reviving the love they possessed, might refer to the pair torn apart on the second Twilight.
That's right. And the 4th one refers to the 9th Twilight. The 4th treasure is putting the witch revived on the 9th Twilight back to sleep again.
If we interpret it favorably, it's hectic with people dying and being broken up, that's all made well in the end. The awakened witch once again sleeps, and all that's left is plenty of gold.
The witch must have her hands full with all this killing, reviving, breaking up, and reuniting people.
Not to mention waking up and sleeping.
Oh well, just when the tale of the hidden gold was getting interesting, as soon as the witch's story is tied in, it quickly gets pretty shady.
No kidding! I laughed along with Jessica. After all, a witch is just ridiculous. Of course, once we started laughing like that, Maria, who believed in witches, got angry.
Witches are awesome! They can do anything with magic! Even kill! Even bring back to life! Even give love! Even take it! Can fly in the sky, can become invisible, can make gold and bread out like nothing!
I'm not doing that. Oh no! My bad! It's just a joke! Jessica apologized, sticking out her tongue, but Maria didn't accept it. She grabbed her notebook out of back of my hands and, opening to another pages, tried to prove that witches existed. Those pages had color illustrations of witches drawn on them, and conveyed the fantastical image Maria had of witches as well. They were not depicted as normal, sinister, crooked-nosed hags flying around on brooms, but dreamlike people with mysterious powers, who could do anything and wore beautiful dresses, just like you would expect from an imaginative young girl. Dancing through the sky, crossing a rainbow, dancing all through the night with magical teacups and teapots that would never get empty no matter how much you poured out of them. With the flourish of their wands, the stars in the sky would become candy and pour down, and flowers that produced sweets would bud by the roadside. To Maria, witches were the sole thing that could give form to the magical dreams that captivated her. The last thing enriching her reality, which revealed more and more of its bland nature to her with every inch she grew. That's why Maria believed in witches. She didn't want the dream to be insulted, and for that reason, nor did she want the epitaph, which affirmed the existence of witches, to be insulted. So the choice is either get the gold, bring back the people killed, get bitches, or hit the snooze button for the witch. Yeah, that sounds about right. Because the witch Beatrice is Maria's dream.
The Maria term is not something that points to the hiding place of gold, but magic to provide the witch.
So, it was the single bridge between Maria and the witch. Maria was very angry and clung onto George and Ikki. Jessica and I scratched our heads and apologized. It might not be possible to smooth things over again like last time she got mad in front of the portrait. Maria didn't want to be easily consoled. As Jessica and I hung our heads wondering what we should do, Shannon-chan timidly opened her mouth in our place. Maria-san, did you know? There's a ghost story about Beatrice-sama that has been passed down amongst the servants.
Huh? Yeah, that's right! Shannon, tell us about it!
I don't really know, but it's pretty famous amongst the servants.
What's this? A story? Yes. It seems it's a story from before we were born. I've also heard it from my mother.
Yes. It has been passed down since the mansion was built on this island. The servants of that time whispered that the mansion had two masters, one of the day and one of the night. The tale that Shannon told was like a typical campfire ghost story. If there was a forest with a witch living inside it, then inevitably the witch was going to pay the mansion a visit. At some point, this ghost story naturally sprouted up between the servants. Doors and windows they were sure they'd shut or locked would be open when they came around to double check. The lights they definitely turned off would be on, and lights they definitely turned on would be off. Things would appear from where they had been placed, and things would appear when no one had any memory of putting them there. When any of these things happened, the old servants would say that the witch had visited the mansion, invisible, and had played pranks.
See, she exists! Beatrice exists!
Yeah, she exists. I remember often being unable to find my bag before heading to school. Maria puffed out her chest with an ooh, as though this was the final proof that the witch existed. If I said it aloud, Maria would probably be hurt again, so I didn't, but... I mean, you hear that kind of story everywhere. Depending on the place, it might be blamed on fairies or something. It's just that. On this island, they call it the witch. Of course, you would expect that walking around a vast, elegant mansion at night would be a little unsettling. It's an island devoid of people. Since the mansion was so drafty, walking around it on the night of a thunderstorm would certainly be eerie. In addition, some servants have also seen will-o-wisps and glittering butterflies all around, dancing around. Hanan-kun said he also saw something like that when he went patrolling one night. And recently, the servants have been talking about strange footsteps inside the mansion near midnight. We have whispered together that Beatrice from the portrait sometimes makes herself invisible and walks through the mansion. It happened a long time ago, but I've also heard those kind of footsteps while patrolling at night.
Ooh, that's scary.
But there's nothing to be afraid of, you know. Beatrice-sama is another ruler of this mansion separate from the master. So she won't do anything bad as long as you respect her and don't act all oddly afraid.
However, she's fearsome if you don't respect her, right?
Yes. I heard that someone who quit just before I began working, after falling down the stairs and receiving a large injury to their back, had been speaking badly of Beatrice-sama. Because of that, there was a rumor between the servants that Beatrice-sama's anger had been brought down upon this person.
Anger will definitely be brought down on Battler and Jessica!
I'm sorry. I don't want her anger brought down upon me. I apologize, Maria. Honestly, she's getting a little annoying.
Maria?
Yeah.
Well, she's a kid, so...
I know, but still. Of course, I also apologize to the witch. I'm sorry, Beatrice-sama. Please forgive an outsider's nonsense.
I'll apologize as well. Sorry, Beatrice-sama. Will the witch be able to forgive us now?
Oh no. Witches are fickle, so they forgive when they forgive, and don't when they don't.
That's no good. Maria-chan, isn't there some kind of charm that can prevent Battler-kun and Jessica-chan from having Beatrice-sama anger brought down upon them? Maybe something to ward off magic?
By relying on Maria, who was proud of knowing the most about witches, George was trying to revive her self-esteem. I was once again forced to admire his ability to comfort children. After crossing her arms and pondering seriously as to whether there was some charm capable of protecting Jessica and myself from the witch's wrath, Maria began flipping through the pages of her handbook. I thought it was a simple scribbled diary, but it turned out that there were also many pages that looked like they had come from a book on black magic. She was intently comparing several such pages, onto which had been copied what looked like magic circles. It looked like that black magic hobby wasn't limited to grandfather alone. Perhaps she had finished her research. She vigorously closed the book with a snap, threw it in her handbag, and began fishing around that bag's contents. It seemed that various jumbled up things were in there. For a while, she continued to take out various pieces of junk, although they were probably important magic items to her, and repeatedly throw them back in, saying they were wrong. She looked a little humorless, almost like Santa Claus deliberating over which present to give. Finally, it seemed that she had excavated what she was looking for. With a face unimaginably brighter than the difficult expression she had worn until now, she stuck them out to Jessica and me. As I reached out to grab it, I noticed that it was a very cheap-looking charm. It looked like a bracelet made of a plastic rosary, with a scorpion motif medal attached to it. I mean, you often find cheap accessories that correspond to the constellations. It felt like a gift you might win at a crane game or at an arcade. It really looked like something like that. There were two. Probably one for me and one for Jessica. However, considering the odd fact that there were two of them, they looked like cheap manufactured goods. And it was quite hard to think of them as magical items. You're giving these to me and Battler?
With these charms, even Beatrice is no problem. Because the scorpion has the power to block magic.
Huh, really? Didn't think scorpions could do that.
Battler doesn't believe.
I had inflamed Maria again because I said too much. Maria took out her notebook again and turned and pointed to the page after page, going on and on about how the scorpion had holy power and had been drawn on magic-repelling magic circles since ancient times. I've heard about that from some of the other young servants. Something about how scorpion is drawn as a magic-repelling symbol in sorcery? Huh, really?
The scorpion protects against bad magic and disasters, and emerald brings peace to the heart. So it has double the effect.
It's true. The scorpion is wrapping around an emerald protecting you. I see, that seems very useful.
I really wanted to make fun of this worthless-looking charm, but as I watched Maria explain the charm with all of her heart and realized she had prepared them out of consideration for us, it felt as though even if it were just a prize from a game center, it would still be beneficial. Material quality isn't what's important about charms. It's the strength of the feelings behind them. I'd like to think I have enough respect for myself to not make fun of those.
Okay, thank you. I apologize to Beatrice-sama, but even in the worst case where I'm cursed, I'll be safe now thanks to your charm. Right, Jessica?
Yeah, that's right. Thank you, Maria. Wear it on your arm when you want a peaceful heart. If you put it in your wallet, your money won't go down. If you hang it from a doorknob, bad things can't get in. A really useful charm.
What an incredible effect! And if it is a charm that Maria-sama can recommend with confidence, I am sure it will be reliable. As Shannon-chan tapped her hands together lightly, Maria stuck up her chest. She was completely cheered up again. If it would keep her in this good of a mood, it probably would be worth to let Maria lead the discussion for a while longer. When you think about it, she hadn't shared in our excitement when we talked about the gold's hidden location, so I think she had gotten a little bored. While eating the cookies Kamasawa had baked, Jessica and I asked Maria this and that about black magic. Maria happily chatted away in response to our questions. For each one, George Aniki and Shannon-chan would act surprised and agree with everything she said. The color of the clouds in the sky grew progressively heavier. The cousins really enjoyed communicating freely after 1 year of separation.
Did I just feel a drop on my forehead? Huh? You might have.
As George Aniki rubbed his forehead, he looked up at the sky. Considering the color of the sky and the dampness of the air, raindrops could have easily started falling down at any moment. It also seemed like the wind had gotten a little stronger.
I didn't feel a drop. I'm the only one.
Calm down, neither did I. Anyway, I'm sure that it'll rain so much tonight that everyone will get the same amount of raindrop. Right. Maybe we should head back soon.
Shannon-chan looked down at her watch. It may already be well into the evening.
Time to get back to work already?
Yes. I enjoyed this time I spent together with you all. Thank you very much.
Tell Kumasawa-san thanks for the cookies.
Yes, it's been 7 hours and we're only partially through. Like, we're like at the part where like shit's about to hit the fan. I guarantee it. Because I'm gonna bring up the trigger very soon.
Alright, everyone, help out with the cleanup.
Shannon declined our help, saying it was the servant's job. But picking up a dropped fork before the waitress has to is like my purpose in life. We folded up the blanket, gathered up the trash, and helped clean everything.
The trash is getting away!
Oh no, it isn't. I'll grab it before you.
Ah! I'm gonna get it!
Nadia! Don't get your shoes wet, you'll get in trouble! To Nadia, chasing after some trash in the strong winds had sent flying was just an extension of our playtime. By the time we finished cleaning up, the wind had started blowing very strong. It looked like a good chance to head back. You all really helped me out. Thank you very much.
It really looks like you're out of time. It's alright if you head back first.
George Aniki perceived from her hurried appearance of that very free time was left. Thank you so much for the raid, Anime Gaming Revolution. Hello, welcome raiders. Genji-san is very rigorous about time. If you aren't in the right place at the right time, he can be very strict.
We'll see you later. Do your best with your work.
Yes! And if you'll excuse me. After making a respectful bow, Shannon-chan hurried off in the direction of the Rose Garden.
Okay, let's head back to the guest house. We can watch TV or something and relax a little.
Watch TV! Watch TV!
Then it's decided. Let's all head back and watch TV together.
I didn't realize they could get reception.
You're right. Even Maria, who was still not tired of playing, agreed when she thought about watching TV. We headed up the gentle stairs and returned to the Rose Garden. The wind had become very strong and roses shook through the garden like ripples on the water. This might be our last chance to see these beautiful roses. Tonight's typhoon is sure to ruin them.
Those roses might be done in by tonight's winds.
Yeah. I'd say they were lucky, though. After all, they got to welcome all of you before the typhoon.
A flower will always lose its petals at some point. However, because of that, we can admire them even more when they're in bloom. That's right. Maria, burn this image into your eyes. At this moment, they're the best roses of the year.
I'm pulling this up now, because within the next 10 minutes, it will be... the trigger will happen. I'm warning you all right now. Please self-care. Please self-care. Know your limitations and step away from the stream if you need to.
Burned into eyes.
Right then, Maria suddenly clapped her hands. It looked like she had remembered something.
My rose. Typhoon wasn't flying.
Oh, you mean that unhealthy rose George Aniki marked with a ribbon?
It seemed that Maria remembered where the rose was. She ran at full speed. The rest of us followed her. Where was that again? I was sure it was around here somewhere. We searched everywhere amongst the area, but after all, there's only a single flower among all these roses. Even though we knew it was somewhere close by, it wasn't proving easy to find. The winds that made up the front lines of the typhoon were making the roses throughout the garden undulate. It was almost as it was teasing us by making the location of Maria's rose impossible to find.
Maybe it wasn't here. Let's try spreading out a bit in our search. Sounds good. Let's go for strength in numbers. What's up, Maria?
As we made to split up and search, Maria tugged at my jacket with an unhappy face. I felt like her intention was to stop us from going to another place.
What is it? What happened?
My rose is here. It's here.
But it actually not, is it? Maybe it was on the other side of the flower bed. If we all look, we'll find it fast, right?
Ah! It's here! My rose is here! Look for it!
Yeah, tantrum. I don't, like, it's a little late for me to be screaming in a tantrum. Maria stomped her feet in irritation. She was pointing at the spot, saying it was definitely there, and it actually wasn't. And yet, if we went to go search elsewhere, she got mad. We were at a loss for what to do. For a while, we would have to stay with Maria and pretend to search through this rose thicket.
Not here! Not here! Not here!
Well, if you were to spread around, maybe we would find it.
Maybe she's saying it should be her, but it isn't. Maria became increasingly ill-tempered.
Oh man. Maria's really losing her temper.
Maria sometimes really starts to really care about pointless things. If she gets what she wants, it's alright, but...
You can't find something that isn't there. That's not good.
Just when we were starting to despair for a way out of the situation, Maria shouted out loudly.
Mama!
In the direction she was waving her hand, Auntie Rosa's figure was visible. Maybe she wanted to look at the garden one more time before the typhoon came. Or maybe she had some business at the guest house. Auntie Rosa was coming from the mansion. She quickly noticed her daughter's voice and came over. Oh my, what happened, everyone? Are you looking for something?
Look for it! Mama, you look for my rose too!
Your rose?
We found an unhealthy rose around here and marked it. We tied a Campy. We tied... Words. We tied a candy wrapper or something around it, tight. But Maria, if I remember correctly, it was growing right in front and really stood out, didn't it? Unless it grew legs and ran off somewhere. It must have been somewhere else. Aren't you just remembering it wrong?
It is here! It is here! Pamela doesn't believe!
For the umpteenth time, would you please stop with the uwu nonsense? Mama will look for it, so stay quiet. I was a little surprised to see Auntie Rosa, who I'd only ever seen as gentle, get angry. Auntie Rosa began searching as well, so we went along with her for the time being. But we were all already more than sure that it wasn't around here. And so, Auntie Rosa also realized, very quickly, that it wasn't here. The rose isn't here. Did you mistake this place for somewhere else? There are so many roses around.
That's wrong! It is here! Mama doesn't believe!
I do believe you, that's why I'm searching! But it isn't here! Crying.
But it is here! It is here, but it isn't!
And someone must have ripped it out! Stop whining like that!
Who ripped my rose? Who? Give it back! Give it back!
And again, there's a lot of oohing, trying to save you all. How should I know? Stop it! Stop that whining!
Ooh.
Auntie Rosa slapped Maria's left cheek with her palm. For that instant, Maria was shocked into silence. Of course, it was only for an instant. When Maria realized that her wish was being rejected before it could be fulfilled, she started yelling with an increasingly louder voice. Again, this heavy crying.
My rose! My rose!
Didn't I tell you to stop that weird habit? That's why all the kids in your class make fun of you! Cut it out! Once again, her palm slapped Maria's cheek. This time, she didn't. She choked as she started crying, and began to bawl with an increasingly louder voice. Auntie Rosa was clearly irritated, and lifted her hand once more to try and shut her daughter up.
Auntie Rosa! Now, she's just a little kid. There's no reason to get so serious.
I attempted to intervene with a forced smile and my hands clasped together. But the deadly serious look I was thrown by Auntie Rosa taught me quickly that I shouldn't butt in. I'm sorry. Would you all return to your room for a little while? Your auntie needs to have a little talk with Maria. Nobody
believes in my rose, even though it was here.
I'm gonna laugh if it really was in a different part of the garden.
But it's not here. then you must be confusing it with somewhere else, mustn't you? I can't do the crying, so... I apologize that I'm not voicing over this part, guys.
Is there a way to, like, pull up a menu to toggle the voice acting on and on, or does it have to be from the main menu?
I believe it has to be from the main menu, but I don't remember what button it is to call main menu for. Yeah. Oh, controls. Yep, nope. Alright. Yep.
Wait, you can click on it?
No, but because I have voices off.
Okay. Then yeah,
So-
it's probably gonna have to be from the configuration.
Yeah, so I apologize. It's hard for me to voice Maria crying, at this point, because she does do this for a while. This is a prolonged scene.
And considering it's already, getting later and later to the evening, we have neighbors here that, we don't want to get noise complaints from.
And it has disappeared. Give it up!
Why? Why did my rose disappear? Why?
I don't know that! So stop saying ooh! Auntie Rosa once again raised her hand and, overrun by emotion, slapped Maria's cheek. It was so strong, it knocked Maria over.
Hey, Auntie Rosa. You know she is your daughter. You shouldn't be violent like that.
I stepped between them to protect Maria, who was still on the ground, crying ooh. I know that problems between parent and child are none of my business as an outsider, but I wasn't brought up to just silently observe something like this. Don't you think it's weird, Battler-kun? Do you have any girls at your school who mutter ooh?
I mean, nowadays we have, people going ooh woo, so it's... Well, I am in high school, and those group of kids always saying rar XD. It was kind of weird. But for an elementary school, I think saying ooh is pretty cute.
Cute? Saying ooh is cute? Cute! That seemed my reckless words had brought Auntie Rosa's wrath down upon me. She grabbed my collar with a terrifying expression.
Oh.
Don't say such nonsense! Do you know how old Maria is? She's 9 years old. She's a 4th grader, you know. She's not a kindergartner. And even so, she still says ooh during class. Do you understand? This kid, do you know what they say about her when they bully her? Thanks to this weird habit, she still hasn't made a single friend. Don't turn your eyes from reality and recklessly call Maria cute. Think much, much more seriously about this kid's future. I told you to stop saying ooh! Didn't I tell you to stop it? Auntie Rosa struck Maria's quivering head, from which an increasingly unsatisfied voice was rising. I tried to stop her, but she thrust me away. My back collided with George Aniki.
A long time ago, Auntie Rosa also thought of it as nothing more than one of Maria-chan's baby words. She is now midway through elementary school, so the fact that it hasn't been fixed has bothered her a lot recently. It's not like it matters what kind of words she uses. You can't become a proper member of society like that. So, even though it's not a pleasant scene to watch, this is a problem between mother and child.
Well, my mom's always giving me hell about how I speak, too. If you look at it that way, maybe an outsider shouldn't interfere with us, even though it's painful to watch.
Battler-kun, didn't you ever have any bad habits as a kid that you couldn't fix and you got in trouble? Well, 1 or 2. On Parents' Day, I got a huge telling off in front of everyone. So embarrassing, I couldn't stand it. Well then, you can understand Maria-chan's feelings right now. I'm sure she doesn't want us to be here now. Do you understand as well, Jessica-chan?
I don't think anyone likes to be seen when they're being punished.
Let's go. Let's return to the guest house. Then, after Maria-chan comes back, let's welcome her as if nothing happened. That's probably for the best, isn't it?
We thought that George Aniki's point was probably correct. And if we use that correct sounding reason to justify our retreat from this painful scene, that was probably enough for us. Jessica and I nodded at George Aniki, and we all left. We called towards Maria that we were going to head to the guest house, but since it didn't seem to reach her ears, we felt guilty and shameless even saying it. In that case, look by yourself as much as you want! Mama doesn't care!
I'll look for it by myself! Look for it even if Mama doesn't care!
Have it your way! After blasting her with those last few words, Rosa spun on her heels and quickly returned to the mansion. Maria probably viewed that as a cold or hurtful gesture. But from Rosa's perspective, that was not her intention. It was because the hand which she had so emotionally struck Maria's cheek was still numb. It was because, if she stayed there screaming, she might again be taken over by her emotions and continue slapping her daughter's cheek over and over. After Rosa left, only Maria was left in the rose garden, all alone. The wind began to blow stronger and stronger, and every once in a while a raindrop would fall on her forehead. However, Maria couldn't leave that place, not until she found that poor, withering rose. It had definitely been there, and yet it wasn't there. Even though she knew the place, and even though that was it wasn't there. Maria, while bitterly staring at the place where it was supposed to be, thought frantically, maybe the angle I'm looking from is wrong. Maybe the height I'm looking from is wrong. While gazing at a single point, Maria repeated, changed her position, continued to stare. The wind was getting increasingly stronger, but Maria kept on looking for that rose in front of the flower bed. Kinzo noticed the sound of the raindrops beating on the window. It finally started to rain. It had begun later than the weather report had predicted. Kinzo, as if being summoned by the sound of the rain, approached the window. The sound of the rain is the sound of silence. That sound feels quieter than any silence. It makes humans remember that, in the end, they are alone from when they are born to when they die. Barn.
Burn. You are late, Beatrice.
Were those words directed at the rainy sky? No one could be seen in the direction of Kinzo's gaze.
So, shall we begin? Our banquet of miracles. In this very moment, this island has been cut off from the world. Now, there are none who can interrupt my ritual. There are many fitting sacrifices before you. 4 of my children, 3 of their companions, 4 of my grandchildren, me and my guests and my servants. You may eat up as many as you please. The key of fate is to select the sacrifices in accordance with the demon's roulette. If that roulette chooses me, even I will become your sacrifice. However, because of that, because I will bet on that madness, I will definitely create a grand miracle. Come, devour as much as you wish. I will overcome that roulette. Yes, I'll put everything on the line. First, I will return the headship of the Ushiromiya family. Take it!
As Kinzo violently opened the window, he ripped the golden ring from his finger and forcefully threw it away. At that moment, thunder resounded, giving the illusion that the lightning had accepted the ring.
And when you are resurrected, it will be me who stands there. I will live until the end and watch over you as you awaken. Now come, Beatrice. Welcome to my banquet. In exchange for all that I have created, show me a miracle one final time.
Beatrice! I keep breaking my game. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. I have to fix the screen every time. It's just one of those things.